Your FastMCP server is ready, but Claude Desktop can't find it. The fix is simpler than you think. We'll see exactly how to install your server with one command, whether it uses the default MCP object or a custom name. The pattern handles both cases automatically, so you never have to guess what to specify.
These are equivalent if your server object is named MCP. FastMCP install Claude Desktop server. Hi. FastMCP install Claude Desktop server. Hi, MCP. Use explicit object name if your server has a different name. FastMCP install Claude Desktop server. Hi, my custom server.
This demonstrates the implicit object resolution pattern for CLI tooling, where the framework intelligently infers default values while allowing explicit overrides. The pattern creates a balance between convenience and precision, letting developers omit repetitive configuration when following conventions, but still specify exact details when needed. What makes this distinctive is how it reduces cognitive load by assuming sensible defaults while maintaining full control through explicit naming. The approach works by establishing a clear hierarchy of fallbacks, first checking for explicit object names, then falling back to conventional names like MCP, server, or app. This design principle follows the convention over configuration philosophy, where common cases require minimal syntax while edge cases remain fully supported. The pattern's effectiveness comes from its ability to handle 90% of use cases with zero extra syntax, while gracefully accommodating the remaining 10% through explicit notation. This matters because it eliminates boilerplate in the common case without sacrificing flexibility. Developers can prototype quickly using defaults, then scale to complex setups by explicitly naming objects when needed. The trade-off is minimal. You gain convenience in exchange for learning a few naming conventions, which is particularly valuable in CLI tools where verbosity directly impacts developer experience. The pattern shines in frameworks where most users follow conventions, but power users need precise control. Let's break it down line by line.
These are equivalent if your server object is named MCP. FastMCP install Claude Desktop server. Hi.
This installs the Claude Desktop package to the FastMCP server defined in server.py. When no explicit object name is provided, FastMCP defaults to looking for a server instance named MCP, following the convention over configuration principle.
FastMCP install Claude Desktop server. Hi, MCP.
This explicitly targets the MCP server instance in server.py for installation. The colon syntax disambiguates when multiple server objects exist in a file, ensuring FastMCP installs the correct one. Use this pattern when your server has a non-default name or you need to be explicit.
Use explicit object name if your server has a different name. FastMCP install Claude Desktop server. Hi, my custom server.
This explicitly targets a non-default server instance name. When your server object isn't named MCP, this syntax overrides the default, ensuring FastMCP installs the tool to the correct server instance. The colon-separated format is the explicit binding pattern for named server objects. FastMCP installation pattern. The FastMCP install command bridges local Python servers with AI clients through automatic configuration, handling both dependency isolation and transport protocol setup. Specifying the server object name explicitly prevents silent failures when the default MCP/server/app naming convention isn't followed. This single command replaces manual client configuration, environment setup, and dependency management across all supported MCP clients.
The server that disappears into the client becomes the client itself.